small hours of the morning.
Yes, I mean, can't speak, clutching a sheaf of paper in your hands and catching me at the end of a reading. Let me guess, you want me to look over something? Yes? The author sighed to himself for a moment before looking back up to Seth. I get 100 enthusiastic writers trying to ply me with buying copies of my book or giving me gifts to get me to read their work. There's a reason publishers have slush piles, you know? Hey, this fuck this guy. This guy's rude. Wow, what an ass. Speak up for Seth. He's not looking for a sure thing. He's already had me and one other person read it, and he wanted some professional insight, that's all. Just flip through a couple of pages and tell him what you think. I stood firm, watching the author's gaze darted between the two of us. You know, every Tom, Dick, and Harry thinks they can write. Don't get me wrong, I've seen a few diamonds in the rough, but it's not my job. Seth looked crestfallen, his eyes lowering to the floor as I watched the pages sag in his hands. Undeterred, I grabbed the first few. Maybe not, but it's my job to see that you look over it. But it's my job to see that you look this over. He poured his heart into this, and I know that. You're either going to read it here and now, or I'm going to start reading it and follow you until I'm done. In before this guy gets arrested. He took a moment, glancing between me and Seth before letting out a sigh and turning to face Seth. Alright, first 3 pages. My agent would kill me if she knew what I was doing here. It's obvious you've already got one devoted fan, and that's a start. Of course. Seth's eyes went wide as the author took the pages offered and began to browse. I patted him gently on the shoulder and went to sit down, letting my body come down from the high. As I glanced back over, the two of them were having a spirited conversation. The author seemed particularly animated and was smiling. A wave of relief rolled over me. Alright, I'll give you a call soon. I had zoned out for most of the conversation, but perked back up when Seth came over, nearly vibrating with joy. He liked it. He actually liked it. He said it was rough, which I expected being a first draft, but he was going to take the first chapter to his agent. See, it's worth it to take a risk every now and then. You're more than just a muse, you're like my guardian angel. Aw, oh, come on. Once I saw someone I liked getting so close to their dream, I had to do something. I like to think you would have done the same thing. He smiled broadly and leaned up to kiss me on the cheek. You're far too modest. And player. What? Literally none of this would have been possible without you, which is why we must go celebrate. Ooh, we must go celebrate, ooh. I know just a place. We gonna go to your house, you gonna take off your clothes, and you gonna show me that. Duh. It was still too early to go to the club, so we decided to swing back to my place. Seth was animated like I'd never seen before. His head flooded with possibilities, hopes and dreams about what this could mean. Ooh. I was glad to see him happy, and did enjoy some basking in his adulation, but I also remembered what Nix had said about the hours, the travel. What if his dream meant the end of this? Bitch, go with him. Seth's enthusiasm didn't stop even after we walked through the door. The instant he saw Kobe, he scooped him up in a hug. I think it was the first time I ever saw my little bro turn that purple. My goodness, I don't think I've ever felt this energized. I'm glad to hear it. We can hang out here for a while and then all three of us can hit the club. We can have a couple of drinks, dance a little. Maybe pick up a guy. That's all you, bro. This motherfucker too horny. That sounds fantastic. Look at me. I've never danced before in my life and I'm giddy at the thought of making an ass of myself. That's the spirit. Maybe I should sit down for a moment. My head is still reeling from all of this. We've got plenty of time. Why don't you go lie down for a bit? I got a few things to do around the house. I'll check in a few minutes. Thank you again, David. You're the most gracious host. He's a cutie, bro, and a good hugger. Hey now, hands off. I saw him first. I also may have helped launch his dream career. He's all yours, bro. It's pretty clear he's really just into you that way. I chuckled as I slid on my coat. There were still a few things to do if we were going out tonight. I wondered if I should get to them or check up on Seth. Finish the chores. My responsibilities got the better of me and I started on one of the chores. Kobe took his cue to leave, ducking out the door before I could ask him to help out. Hey, thanks bro. I was meeting someone for coffee before the club anyway. It never seemed to really work out well. Being the practical one of the two of us, still left to my own devices, I made short work of the dishes and the cleaning. It wasn't long before the sun had begun to dip in the sky. I hadn't heard a peep out of Seth despite my activity out front. I took off the latex gloves I'd been using and left them on the counter as I peeked into the bedroom. Clearly, Seth had overestimated his stamina. He was out cold and snoring softly. Ooh, I don't know. Should I wake him up or should I let him sleep? Wake him up, let him sleep. Wake him up or let him sleep. Let him sleep. Multiple days in a row of riding, seemingly with little sleep, had clearly been tough on him. Shit. I must have dozed off for a second myself, because when my eyes flickered open, Seth was stretching and yawning as he got back to his feet. Oof. What happened? You fell asleep about 5 hours ago, in Kobe's bed no less, which makes you one of the few people to just sleep in it besides him. I guess I was more exhausted than I thought. Sorry I wasn't more fun tonight. It's alright. We had an exciting day. That and I much prefer sleeping in the same room as you to not hearing from you. David? As I sat on the edge of my bed, Seth padded softly over to me. Draping his arms around me, he slid smoothly into my lap and pressed his lips firmly but gently against my own. We held each other in that moment, cloaked in darkness, and on such a silent night, just keeping close and safe in each other's arms. When the kiss finally broke reluctantly on both our ends, Seth smiled down at me and rested his head on my shoulder for a moment, before slowly sliding back out of my lap. That's my way of saying thank you. Thank you for humoring me, pushing me, and most of all, for being willing to put up with my vanishing. Not many other people would be willing to take someone back after that. I'm not most people, Seth, and if that kiss was any indication, you're certainly worth waiting for. You're such a flatterer. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm up for much more tonight. That full-body giddy high I was on has faded and my body is threatening to rebel against my currently vertical position. Let me take you home. I want to take you. Let me bring you back to your crib. Let me see what you got. Let me see what you popping with. Let me see if you got some Gucci shit. Let me see what you got. Let me drive you home then. I wouldn't want you to pass out on the way and get in an accident. It's alright, it's not that far, and the traffic will be light. Besides, my place is an absolute pigsty right now, and I couldn't bear to have you see that. Only if you're absolutely sure. I am. Fair warning though, keep your schedule clear. I intend to make up for these half-hearted dates with something spectacular. Ooh. Ooh, what does that mean? What does that mean? Ooh, am I gonna get to see that dill? Or am I gonna get some pull? You know, I mean, you never know. You never know with this furry stuff. You never know. I look forward to it. I can't wait to see what you might have planned. Just make sure to pull out all the stops. I assure you, not a single stop will remain unpulled in my entire apartment. He gathered his things together and after another peck on the cheek goodbye, made his way out the door. Doubts still lingered about Seth's book. It brought us together for the moment, but I couldn't help worry it might also break us apart. Then again, that's what dating was all about, it seems. Being willing to put yourself out there and take a chance that you can make a connection. The free lunches and dinners just sweeten the deal. Okay, well, is there anything else to do? Anything at all? I don't know. Can we call Seth? Oh, good. There's still more. Our next few meetings were sadly short and very business-oriented. Seth wouldn't let me come over until he had, in his words, cleansed the apartment from ceiling to floor at least twice. Despite my insistence that not everything needed to be perfect, there was no swaying him. That said, he kept to his promise and called me often, when we weren't at coffee talking about another piece he had written. Finally, the day arrived. Seth greeted me at the coffee shop with a smile that just wouldn't quit. Ah, here we are. Good, good. Alright, I believe my domicile is once again right enough with the world to accept guests. I do want to thank you for your patience. I wanted everything to be absolutely perfect. I mean, if you gonna get me some dill, you better do it fast. Seth, you didn't have to go overboard with this. I'm not going to judge you on the cleanliness of your apartment. I mean, you've been to my house. Need I say more? Can't I just go a little overboard? I mean, you're helping me with my writing. I've been more prolific recently than I have been in years. I like to think that I had something to do with that. Still, I'm more than happy to come over. Should I bring anything? I'll leave that completely to you. I should have everything covered, but I'm certainly not averse to your personal touch. Alright then, I'll give it some thought. Where are we going over another story today? Your bag doesn't seem to be bulging with notebooks as per usual. No, not today. I've been a little too busy doing some other last-minute things before tonight. I wanted to make sure that everything was just right and well. I forgot to write anything recently. I was hoping to see what you had come up with next. I particularly liked the last bit of short fiction you did. Thanks. I was trying something new with the narration approach and glad to hear you liked it, but I've also been talking your ear off and about writing lately. How are things with you? Oh, well, great. I've been hearing back from a few places about the job, trying to stay active and positive. Aside from that, not much else. My day-to-day is fairly mundane. Better a comfortable, humdrum life than to live the ancient Chinese curse, as it were. I'll get by. Colby's been asking if you're going to stop by again. He seems to like you quite a bit. I like him too. Even when he gets a little flirty, I can see why he's a big part of your life. There has been one thing you haven't talked about. Did Nick's agent ever get back in touch with you? Not yet. These things do take time, and I know there's no way to rush it. It's just that the waiting is agony. I'll do my best to distract you from that as much as possible tonight then. Should I come in my suit and tie? Black tie is completely optional, though I imagine you in a suit is very pleasing image. Flattery will get you almost everywhere with me. More flattery will get you the rest of the way. I'm a writer. I can flatter you in 5 different ways and with excessive alliteration. No, stop. I'm like putty in your hands already. The both of us swiftly broke down into giggles. After a moment and another sip of coffee, I composed myself.